everyone, hope you're doing well. Welcome back into my channel if you haven't met me before. Hi, nice to meet you. My name is Rebecca. I'm a 30-year-old mum here in Australia. On this channel I do personal finance videos like this one, and then I also do, some vlog style content, and also, motherhood and my disability journeys. This is the monthly regular video for, or my monthly reset, just as a caveat and like a disclaimer, just to like preface each video in terms of like my financial situation. I am on Centrelink full-time. I'm trying to look for work. I am disabled, obviously going through my disability journey. I'm legally blind and I have Meniere's disease. I've been on Centrelink since I was 18 and I was on disability support pension for most of my adult life up until the last like 3 or basically since I found out I was pregnant. I told Centrelink that I was pregnant and they immediately switched me to parenting payment, and I have not been able to get back onto disability since. If you've ever tried to claim for specifically disability or carers, you know how difficult that is, and it was difficult for me to get on the first time. My partner is on full-time carers for her. Just for these videos and just really when I talk about finances and stuff, I am talking about it from just what I earn. My partner and I are not married. We do not combine finances in that way, and also like he's more comfortable just not being on on my videos and stuff like that, so that's why this is just solely focused on my income and my budgeting and my savings and all of that type of stuff. So with that introduction and caveat out of the way, let's hand it over to the laptop and let's get into this. Okay, here we are with our monthly resets. This is the last one for 2025, which is really cool. Alright, so here we have November. Total income technically a lot less, but $2,620. Most of that was from, I did sell a couple of things on eBay. Okay, so as you can see, there's a bit more of a breakdown. So my actual Centrelink pay was $1,210.30. That has not changed. That is per fortnight, so I got that twice in this month. And then Medicare rebate, Bupa, I'm not getting anything for the rest of this year. That will come January. And then we have the eBay selling that I was just telling you about. So my expected was about $150, but I got $240, so love that. So then my board is $300, food is $200, and then next month, or actually starting this pay, I actually need to add that in. So with food, I've just added a little addition, because originally my food was $200 for the month to put in, but now putting an extra $50 per fortnight in, so that actually bumps it up to $300. The reason being is because my partner's brother is actually moving back in and he has a dog, so we feel it's only fair that he pays extra out of his pay, towards his dog that's not in the food shop for the house. And same with us with our daughter, like we pay, out of our pay towards her stuff, like nappies and wipes and stuff like that, instead of it coming out of the food shop. So that's where that's going. $208 came out for Bupa. That was already saved up and ready to go from the previous month, so that was fine. Nothing extra came out of that. $26 phone bill, I paid that yesterday as of filming this, and $11 I have set aside for my term life insurance. That should come out on the 1st. And then medications. So I was originally hoping, because I was originally told that upping, getting more in a box with my medication would only still be the same price that I was already paying, which was like $62 a fortnight. Hindsight 2020, which I don't even have 2020 vision, that was obviously not the case. It's just an extra box, so it's an extra amount of the 62, so I'm paying $120, I'm paying $120 for that a month, but then I'm also setting aside an extra $10 to cater for like my puffer that I get, and that's also on a monthly thing, so I'm putting $130 towards that. $17.50 came out. We just got KFC, went out and got KFC. It's not really like dining out, you know what I mean. We didn't use Uber Eats is the point. $300 of groceries, shopping, $888. Yeah. Most of that was actually towards an aircon, because we're getting into summer. We don't have an aircon in our room, and every other room in this house has an aircon. So we were like, and because of my Meniere's disease, I get some symptoms I get during summer when it's really, really hot. So an aircon is like a must in that sense. At least for me, it's a necessity to help with the regulation of my body temperature and then my disease. So that was, we'll get into the tracking, but that was about 300 and something. And then $80 will actually be coming back, because I did do a Bunnings order for like storage tubs, but then I realized like, oh, I actually can't budget this out properly, because based off of my paycheck and what I budgeted, I wouldn't have been able to put the amount I was meant to towards my savings, because as it was, I mean, I only just managed to buy the aircon as it was, so I was like, no, I need to be really a little bit more smarter about this and actually go, okay, I don't need the storage tubs, I can get them later on. So that is coming back to me. Therapy was, and I really need to add that $2 higher. But anyway, therapy was $240. For those that don't know, if you're new, I'm doing EMDR therapy. It's $240 a session. As of the last couple of months and the end of this year, I have to do monthly because financially I can't afford the fortnightly sessions that I used to do until next year when I start getting the Medicare rebate back. But my plan is with the Medicare rebate back that I do get, I'm just going to set that aside and have that in an actual EMDR like savings line item, so that when this does happen again, because if you don't know our system here in Australia with you know, therapies and specific like specialized therapies like EMDR and psychologists and stuff like that, you can either do it through, if you have health insurance, but you've got to have a pretty high health insurance to be able to get really anything back, or you can do it through the healthcare system where you go to your GP, you get what's called a mental health care plan. It's either 10 sessions or you do 4 sessions, go back for review and then get the rest there. So mine ran out basically, and then because I ran out I get nothing back, and I even tried to go through my insurance but I wasn't able to get anything back through them either. So but yeah, starting next year I'll be able to, you know, set whatever I get back aside, and so that when that does happen again, because it will, I'll be able to continue fortnightly session just off of that for a little bit longer. Now because I'm getting the 80 back, I am actually able to have the 4,000 in there instead of, I think it was supposed to be like 940 or something like that. That's really great. And then sinking funds, there's nothing there. Shopping again, day 88. Christmas, I had put aside $200. I've already spent $100 of that. That was for our daughter and also for a Secret Santa, and then I have 2 Secret Santas left to buy for, and that's it for me for Christmas. This is actually the first time, maybe ever, that I haven't had to go for a loan for Christmas, so I'm really, really proud of that actually. Go me. And you know, going into next year, like I am gonna start putting money aside well before Christmas is even here, so that I am set and ready to go. Takeaway, I caved, I got takeaway again. I didn't do any clothing shops that I'm aware of though, so that's good. I'll take my wins where I can. Afterpay, it is completely paid off. I ended up only had $300 left over, and technically the original payment was like $237, so I would have only had like $60 or something like that left over, but I had the budget there and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna pay it all off. So I'm now completely consumer debt free. The only loans that I do have is my student loans. Now I do want to talk about my student loans because we are getting into you know, end of year, beginning of next year. I know I had really set out to pay off my student loans, but my thing is that it is less than 3% so of like interest that's, or like indexation, sorry, that's added. And the way that I view it now based off of that is like I could put what I would have put into my student loan into savings, or even better, into investing. So I think at this point in time, that could also change when I get a job. Like when I get a job, I could just set that money for, like, I mean it is going to anyway, depending on how much I get, if it hits the threshold. So the percentage of that will go to my loan anyway. But for now, I think long term, I think it's more beneficial if I just leave the loan where it is, pay it off when I can, however that looks like. But you know, when it comes to my Centrelink and my work, when I do get a job, I think I need to really focus on building up my savings and emergency funds, and also investing. I think those are my big goals for next year. As much as I can, invest, get a job, hopefully move out, who knows. At the moment we're living with my partner's dad. We're basically in a share house, I guess you would say, because we got my partner's dad plus his brother now moving in, so that's where we're at with that. So it will still stay in the budget, because I'm sure there will be times where I will be able to just say, hey, let's just chuck this amount on. But yeah, so that's kind of where my head is at with all of that. And then, okay, this is a bigger one as well. I cancelled all of my subscriptions, all of them, including the Upbeat, because I thought Upbeat was $10. No, it was $15. Of course, everything is in USD, and I always forget that, and then it converts to Australian dollars. I'm like, oh, it's like $27. So I just got rid of that. And actually the free one is fine anyway. So I'm okay with that. YouTube Premium, I don't pay that, my partner pays that, so that's fine. And also with YouTube Premium, I didn't know, but you actually get the YouTube Music app as well. So I was able to like, okay, I can justify getting rid of Spotify and switching to just the YouTube Premium. That worked out well anyway. And then Netflix I don't pay for, or I think I paid for it once for the family one, but I typically don't pay for that. Disney Plus, I don't know if I'm going to do a yearly, because I did have a yearly thing on it, and it's ran out, so I really don't know if I'm going to. If I do, it'll be next year at some point. And then Google Storage I didn't pay for either. Paramount Plus, that's a yearly thing. I don't need to pay for that until I think it's July, and that's $97, so that's fine. So that saves me, you know, a good like $20 or so a month. Anything is better than nothing. And then let's move on to tracking. Oh, that's right. Yeah, so an extra $36.99 came out because I needed to get allergy tablets, because beginning of this month I was suffering. Like my eyes were puffy, I could barely breathe because my allergy is asthma related. Like I was struggling to breathe, my chest was really tight, and I was like, I need to get a big 100-pack allergy pack. So that's where that 36 came out of. So then I did spend an extra $30 on our daughter for like clothes and some bedding from Audi. The $13 is towards her bottle teats, which again, that also encompasses that extra $50 towards her, so that's fine. That won't need to be an extra payment moving forward. $10 I also got on a hat, which I really love. I love my hat that I got. $10 because I don't know where all my hats went. My hats are just vanished. I don't know where they've gone, so I had to run out and get a hat, because we were actually going to the beach that day and I was like, I need a hat. And turns out the hat that I got is perfect, because it's one of those ones where you can adjust the tightness of the top, and I have a very small head, but it's a bucket hat and it's really cute, and yeah. Anyway, so that was a good purchase, I think. And then I also spent an extra $30 on skincare. I think that's also something I want to try and budget out a little bit more. Even though I'm only spending it like every couple of months or 3 months or so, it's still probably better to have than not. And unless I just have like a spending in there, then that's fine. And then yeah, these two are the Secret Santas, $33.95, and it was a Steam game. It's called Sugar Dew Island, really fun. Then there's the 362, that was what the portable aircon came up to. We should actually get that tomorrow when I'm filming this, so that's good. And then yeah, then it's in for November budget. So some highs, some lows. I would say mostly wins. Let's move over to the spending overview. So 12.6% went to debt, 19.7% went to bills, expenses 29%, and savings 38%. So I'm really happy with that. Anyway, let's dive into December. Alright, so my expected is 12, 10, 30. Medicare Bupa, that's all the same. Board is 300. So for the month, 300 for board, 300 for food. That's including that extra $50 per fortnight. Phone bill is 26. I am considering whether to do, because it's 26 a month, but they do have the phone company I'm with, which is Boost, by the way. They do have an option if you get like a 12-month plan. You technically can just pay this upfront, but you get, I think it's like 300 gigs for the year. I don't use that much data like I used to, so I'm tossing up whether that's worth it or not, or if I just stick to monthly. So that's a like to be decided. Bupa, I don't have anything due, and then term will be for the following month, but I'll set it aside anyway. Medications 130, that stays the same. Dining out, hopefully nothing. 300 for groceries, shopping, hopefully nothing. Therapy I plan on doing, so 242. So I'm hoping this next month in December I'll be able to put just over $1,000 in savings, which is something I've never really ever been able to do before. That's also like being super strict on everything else. I am putting $50 into sinking funds, and then I'm also putting an extra $300 into car funds. So I'm hoping for next year, like I said, I really start bulking specifically those two accounts up. I would ideally like for my car to get to 1,000, and then maybe 3,000 on emergency funds, and then maybe some, like maybe $200 to $500 on, like, you know, Christmas and like clothes and stuff like that, just so I have that security there, especially for emergencies. And then, you know, I have spending, and then thankfully I don't have to put into this anymore for the month. So that's fine, not have to pay no student loans yet. And then same with subscriptions, I'm gonna keep at, you know, having all of this at 0 for now. That's where we're going to leave it for this reset. This is the last one for this year. So really hope you guys all enjoyed. Let me know what you're budgeting for, what your plans are for the new year. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.